And when it comes to 9-0 and the baby case, who do you guys get along with out here?
Man, we don't really get along with too many people. Shit, we damn near the most hated.
I'ma say it straight up. We're fucking with everybody. I'ma say it just like that.
Yeah, we don't really got too many. We don't really got too many. We don't
There's a lot of
really
different
niggas,
reasons
bro.
why.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm keeping it 100.
We don't like out here. I ain't gonna lie. It's ugly out here. We don't like it for sure.
Shortly before 9 a.m. this morning, we received reports of shots were fired in the 7900 block of MacArthur. It was reported by our shot spotter system. When officers arrived on scene, they located 2 victims of gunshot wounds. One was transported to a local hospital and is in stable condition. Officers attempted life-saving measures on the second victim. Paramedics also arrived. Tragically, that victim succumbed to their injuries. This is an ongoing investigation. We do have multiple leads. Our homicide unit is currently investigating along with specialized units.
We in the hood, East Oakland, Parker School, where a young lady lost her life recently. We should get hazard pay. We work on building the ground. They want us to patch these holes where the young lady lost her life. This is some of them right here. There's also someone all through these, and they're next door.
Depending on who you ask, 25-year-old Kamari McLemore was either a beautiful, athletic young woman with a future ahead of her or somebody the streets had already claimed. Before any of that, Kimarii was a basketball player, and a pretty damn good one. For a while, basketball looked like her ticket out of the hood. Play ball, stay focused, and maybe turn that talent into an opportunity bigger than the neighborhood she grew up in. Her family saw the potential. Kimarii saw it too. But the streets have a funny way of offering their own scholarships. And unfortunately, those come with a graduation ceremony nobody wants to attend. Somewhere along the way, basketball took a back seat and street life moved to the front. Kimarii became known as BBG Little Mari, a name that reportedly carried weight in the streets. There were allegations and speculation surrounding everything from robberies and assaults to much more serious violence, including homicides. Whether every story attached to her name was true is another question, because the streets will turn rumors into the truth before breakfast. But one thing was clear. Kimarii had become deeply associated with a lifestyle her mother and loved ones desperately wanted her to leave behind. They hadn't given up on the girl underneath the reputation. They still believed she could trade street politics for a paycheck, get herself a real career, and finally make good on that promise everybody saw in her years earlier. Then came what looked like her second chance. Kimarii enrolled in a carpentry program at Parker Community Resource Center, preparing herself for a trade, employment, and hopefully an entirely different life. She was reportedly only about 30 days away from graduating, 30 days from having that credential in her hands, 30 days from being able to walk onto a job site instead of worrying about whatever was happening on the block. Her family thought maybe this was finally it. The exit ramp had appeared, and Kimarii was actually taking it. But street life doesn't always care when you've decided you're finished with it. Sometimes the past keeps your address long after you've stopped sending it mail. And before Kimarii could finish that program and begin the new life everybody was hoping for, the very world they desperately wanted her to escape came knocking one more time. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads. Somehow, during those final days of Kimarii trying to trade street life for a steady paycheck, trouble still managed to find a seat in the classroom. According to her family, Kimarii got into some type of beef with a male classmate. Exactly what started it and how serious it became isn't completely clear, but apparently it was enough of a problem that the instructor had to step in and make the two squash it. And on the surface, that's what happened. Hands shook, words were exchanged, everybody supposedly moved on, and class continued. But Kimarii wasn't completely buying the peace treaty. You know how it goes, some people will shake your hand on Monday and spend Tuesday reminding themselves why they don't like you. Kimarii apparently wondered whether the situation was genuinely over or whether somebody had simply learned how to smile in her face. So for the remainder of the program, she kept her head on a swivel. She reportedly told members of her family about what had happened and made it clear that she wasn't completely comfortable. And from her perspective, she had reasons to be cautious. Kimarii was petite. She didn't really have friends inside the class, and the person she had tension with was a man. She wasn't walking into that building surrounded by 10 homegirls ready to turn carpentry class into WWE if something popped off. She was there by herself, trying to finish what she started. Still, as the days passed without another major confrontation, Kimarii apparently hoped the situation really had been put to bed. Graduation was getting closer. The finish line was finally visible, and after everything she'd already survived in life, she only needed to make it through one more day. That day was July 31st. It was supposed to be the easy part. Show up, finish class, get that carpentry certificate, take some pictures, hug your family, probably post something online letting everybody know you actually did what you said you were going to do. Then walk out of there qualified to start looking for work and begin building a completely different reputation for yourself. For somebody whose name had allegedly carried weight in the streets. This was supposed to be the day BBG Little Mari started disappearing and Kamari McLemore the carpenter started showing up. Instead, shortly after arriving around 9 that morning, Kimarii noticed something that immediately made her uncomfortable. According to her family, she texted her mother and told her there was a suspicious vehicle lurking around the campus parking lot. Whatever she saw bothered her enough that she didn't brush it off. She was frightened, and considering the tension she'd reportedly experienced with that classmate and whatever baggage may have still existed from her previous life, Kimarii apparently understood that suspicious cars weren't something she could afford to treat like background decoration. Her mother took the warning seriously. Rather than telling Kimarii she was paranoid or reminding her that the disagreement had supposedly already been handled, she reportedly called the school to alert them about the suspicious vehicle. Then she headed toward the campus herself to warn staff and check on her daughter. And think about how cruel that timing is. Her mother wasn't driving there because Kimarii had gotten kicked out. She wasn't going there because she'd been arrested or gotten into another fight. She was heading toward the campus where her 25-year-old daughter was supposed to complete a carpentry program and begin moving towards something better. But before she could make sure everything was okay, the danger Kimarii feared apparently became very real. According to the family, McLemore's mother arrived and heard gunfire. A relative later recalled her immediately asking, "Where's my baby?" before running toward her niece. Unfortunately, there wasn't going to be a graduation celebration anymore. Kimarii had been shot, and she died at the scene. The woman who spent those final weeks trying to complete a carpentry program never got the opportunity to walk away with the certificate she'd earned. Instead of watching her complete another chapter of her life, her family was suddenly trying to understand who wanted Kimarii dead badly enough to come after her on the very day she was supposed to graduate.
My sister just called me and said, "My baby gone, my baby dead, they killed my baby."
Family members say 25-year-old Kamari McLemore was taking steps towards a fresh start. About a month ago, she started a carpentry program through Oakland Unified's adult school program at the Parker Community Resource Center. But her aunt says she told family members she didn't feel safe going to school today.
That she told her this morning that she didn't feel safe. And prior to when she registered into this class, when she started, it was somebody in there that she didn't get along with.
McLemore died at the scene. Police say a second victim remains in stable condition after being shot and taken to a hospital. Investigators say the shooting was targeted, but they have not identified a suspect or released a possible motive.
Our investigators have a lot of information. We're utilizing technology, and I'm very confident we'll be able to determine the reason and the people responsible.
The Parker Community Resource Center houses Oakland Unified's adult school and Roots Community Center. District officials say multiple people were on campus when the shooting happened, prompting an immediate lockdown.
I will say to anybody who would consider doing this, keep your weapons at home, resolve your differences peacefully, never resort to this. This should never happen anywhere, certainly not at our schools.
McLemore's brother says he was inspired watching his younger sister return to school. He wants people to remember her as a person who was loved by her family and community.
I want her to be remembered as the funny, caring, outgoing individual that she was. She was definitely the type of character that could light up a room.
Now the family is left grieving a woman they say was determined to change her life.
She has shown that, she was trying to do something different. And it is unfortunate because this is how it always goes, right when they're making that transition.
Our people killing our people. Once you take a life, the whole family is traumatized. Whatever you're fighting over, arguing over, can be replaced, but a life cannot be replaced.
Oakland police have not confirmed that the previous dispute was connected to her death. Her family's concerns remain suspicions unless investigators establish otherwise. What police have said is significant. They said Kimari's shooting was a targeted attack. In other words, investigators believe she was specifically targeted. The unanswered question is why. Was this connected to somebody she'd recently fallen out with? Was it something connected to the street life she was trying to leave behind? Was somebody carrying an old grudge while she was busy planning a new future? As of now, nobody has been arrested in connection with McLemore's killing, but her family remains hopeful that investigators will eventually identify whoever was responsible and give them the answers they've been waiting for.
It's been many calls, many texts, many people coming by. She was a very loved young woman. As you can see by the flowers that have already come in under 48 hours.
Bertia Johnson says her niece, Kamari McLemore, had a beautiful smile and bright future. She was studying carpentry at the adult school. On her last day of class, she was shot and killed. That was Friday morning. She was 25 years old. That morning, Johnson says McLemore texted her mother. There was a suspicious car.
Her mom proceeded to call the school to inform the school that it was a suspicious car on the property and she was unsafe.
Johnson also says McLemore's mother went down to the school to alert staff and check on her daughter.
And that's when she heard the rounds. And they was proceeding to lock down the school, but she said, "That's my baby, where's my baby?" and dropped everything and ran to her daughter, my niece.
McLemore died at the scene. Her family is also concerned her killing was linked to tensions between the victim and a young man in the class.
So I can tell you this was not a random act.
On Friday, Oakland Police Chief James Beer said there were multiple leads.
I'm fairly confident that we'll get to the bottom of this. Our investigators have a lot of information. We're utilizing technology.
And on Monday, we went back to the school on Ney Avenue where McLemore attended. It was closed. She was in a 30-day program here at the school, and her aunt says she was supposed to graduate that day. Johnson also says her niece made some mistakes in the past, but was on the right path.
We all make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes. I wasn't who I am today. Long way from it. But until we learn to forgive and let go and move on and better ourselves, we're not going to get any better or be any better.
And that's what makes Kimari's story so frustrating. She deserved to finish that day. Whatever mistakes she made before July 31st didn't erase the work she put in during those final weeks. That carpentry certificate wasn't charity. Nobody handed it to her because they felt sorry for her. She showed up, did the work, and was supposed to graduate. Was Kimarii a perfect victim? No. And that's exactly why her story matters. Victims don't suddenly stop being victims because their past isn't clean enough for a Hallmark movie. Maui may have participated in a lifestyle that brought danger into her world, and there may have been serious allegations surrounding her name. None of that gave somebody the right to appoint themselves judge, jury, and executioner. For years, her family had apparently wanted her away from the streets. They wanted the basketball player back. They wanted the young woman who could work, build something, earn money legally, and create a future that didn't require constantly checking over her shoulder. And when she finally appeared to be moving in that direction, she was killed at the finish line. Whether her death ultimately turns out to be connected to that classroom dispute or retaliation from something in her past is for investigators and evidence to determine. What we do know is that Kimari's final attempt to lead a more prosperous life was interrupted before anyone got the chance to see where it could take her. Now her family isn't celebrating a graduation. They're demanding justice. They're mourning not only Kimarii, but the woman she still had the opportunity to become had the same streets she once ran simply allowed her to lead. Kimarii may not have been everybody's definition of the ideal victim. She was a victim nonetheless. Her family deserves answers, and whoever targeted her that morning should have to answer for taking her life on a day that was supposed to represent a new beginning. May Kamari McLemore rest in peace.